Sweet. Well, welcome everybody and welcome Kendall. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. My name is Jen, also known as Lorcana Mama with the Beyond the Ink podcast. So before we get started, I think most all of you might recognize Kendall, but Kendall, why don't you kind of give us an intro, who you are, what you do, and kind of how you got into Lorcana?
Yeah, so my name's Kendall, also known as No I'm Not from the early Pixelborn days. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been playing card games for around like 15 years now almost. It's been a long time. And I got into Lorcana um, just because I thought, well, for one, I thought it was like really interesting. I wouldn't classify myself as a straight up Disney adult, but I did grow up on Disney. I watched all the Disney movies growing up. So playing the game itself, there is like a nostalgia factor there. But I also think just like as a card game player, I like to play all different card games. I'll at least try them out once. And so trying this one out, it was definitely like got my attention. I enjoy the game a lot, and as well as the community. So.
No, awesome. Yeah, I love the community. As this being like my first TCG, we were the people that walked in like thinking we were going to buy some cards and collect them and like put a few on our shelf and then did the demo. So like I literally like this is me every day. This isn't just because I'm like I literally have like full Disney gear all the time. So Lorcana's given me more like reason that I can wear Disney adult clothes in public all the time.
Yeah, I think it does. The game itself does a good job of like bringing in newer players to TCGs that enjoy card game or enjoy Disney, but they haven't played card games, and then also TCG players from other games as well. So there's like a good mix, and like you being exposed to card game things is great. And then like also for me, for instance, like I never went to Disney as a child. Like I guess I just wasn't ever afforded that opportunity. But when I went to NA Continentals earlier this year, like we went to Disneyland out in California, and that was like my first time at Disney. So like I'm also getting like exposed to like things I hadn't before as well, just for playing the game.
We'll convert you. You will be
Yeah.
You're going to start going on vacations, not just because there's Lorcana there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not opposed to it for sure. Like I said, I do enjoy Disney itself. Like all the movies, I definitely remember as a child. So
Yeah, no, I like it. I only went when I was a kid. Once when I was 5, which I don't remember, and then I went to Animal Kingdom when it opened when I was 15, like just a one-day thing. And then I didn't go again until I had kids, and that's when my parents decided that like, oh, we should do Disney. But now like, and my dogs are down here snoring. Now I literally go, I think usually 2 to 3 times a year. I do mom trips. Like no kids is the best way to do Disney. I mean, I love my kids and I love taking them, but I'll do a girls trip. We dress up. We do like the Oogie Boogie Bash, like full costume. I mean, it's a vibe. We'll get you there. You'll get to such a level where you'll be like planning your Oogie Boogie Bash costume for next year.
okay.
This is my life goal.
I know there's like a Disney cruise too. That sounds interesting, and my girlfriend wouldn't mind going on a cruise too. So
Disney cruises are the best cruises. I've only been on one as an adult. If you have kids, it's like chef's kiss because there's like kids places you can go and just send your kids and then you go adult and the kids actually enjoy it. Like they're like, oh, let's go. I can't wait to go to like the Oceaneers Club or whatever. And the food's super good. And then if you're a Disney person, like we did the Star Wars one and like Darth Vader and all of like took over the ship and stuff. And I don't know. It's fun. You should do it. It's a vibe.
all right, yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, Disney. So talking about competitions, what are you looking forward to in the next competitive circuit? So we haven't had DLCs for a bit. So what are you excited for?
Like what tournaments am I excited for in general, or
Yeah,
like
once
during
DLCs
the
kind
season?
of get kicked back up and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, surprisingly enough, without there being DLCs, a lot of the third-party events have been really carrying Lorcana right now. So there's the Charlie's Collectible Show event that happens about every 3 months. I think that's where I talked to you, and that was like maybe almost a month ago now or so. But the other one's coming up in the middle of June. I actually have like a lot of Lorcana even planned for me these next few weeks. So next week I'm going to Germany for the Ravensburger tournament. I'm
That's
sorry.
I've that's not I'm excited. Okay, do tell.
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of this.
Yeah, it's an unofficial, it's not a DLC, like they didn't advertise it as a DLC, but it's like a official Ravensburger tournament being held at their headquarters in Ravensburger, Germany, I believe. That would make sense that Ravensburger's in Ravensburger, but um, it's like a 512 player event. It's still like best of two day one and then a cut to day two. And I don't believe, like I said, it's not classified as a DLC. There's no official like DLC pricing. Uh, However, there is like some special pricing. I quite don't even know. All I know is that my team owner was like, "Hey, is anyone interested in going to this tournament?" And I was one of the ones that like have time and
Yeah.
was willing to go. So like I believe it's just me and my team owner going from the US, and then we have some overseas European players as well that will be attending. But yeah, so I'm going there, and then when I come back from there, that following weekend is the Southside Gaming 10K.
Mhm.
So I'll be going there to Florida. Um, and then I have a quote unquote week off, but we know that like May is set champs. So
Yeah.
like I can probably go play in set champs. And then the weekend after that, I'll be going to Hartford, Connecticut. And that's for SEG Con. Now, SEG Cons, they do have Lorcana tournaments there, and I will be probably playing in the Friday and Saturday ones. But I'm actually playing in a Vibes TCG 20K. It's this other game.
Stop it. I just saw this and I have not been able to get a starter deck. It's
Yeah.
like a Penguins game.
Yeah, it's a Penguins card game, and they're hosting a 20K at Star City Games. That's where they demoed it. They have like demo booths if you ever attend to Star City Games. I don't really want to like promote Vibes too much, but like I like when I said earlier, like I enjoy like TCGs. Like if I play a TCG, I like it or whatever. I liked it enough. There was a big tournament coming up. There's no like really big Lorcana tournament. You know, there's not like a DLC that weekend or something. So like, sure, why not? I'll go. But then after that, I'll have like a few weeks. Again, I can attend like set champs, I guess, after that. And then CCS will be coming up in the middle of June. As far as like DLCs go, I mean, yeah, that's been harped on a lot online, but you know, maybe we'll get some news at some point and then we can start planning DLC season. I'm definitely excited to get back to attending DLCs, and then hopefully, you know, with my goal of making a top 8 or even winning a DLC, I would like a golden Mickey. I had a pretty good DLC season the past season, but and the closest I got was I did lose playing for top 8 of the DLC. That was the very first one in Atlanta. I lost playing Zan. So but yeah, so hopefully next season I'll be able to top 8 or win a DLC. I would like to make Continentals again, and then obviously like any competitive player would tell you, like they would like to make Worlds as well. So
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, DLCs are Disney Lorcana challenges. So I was able to go to a couple this past year. Both of them I brought my kiddo, who is now 12, and he's also a type 1 diabetic, and he did great, like was able to go off on his own. I played on the competitive side in Seattle, and then he just did side events. So although there's not a big group of kids that I've seen at the DLCs just yet, I'm super excited for it, but it's definitely family friendly. So anyone that's interested, it's not just to be competitive. One, the competitive play is super fun and great because you get a whole different mix from your locals. You get to meet and see a lot of people like Kendall and Zan. And I mean, you'll see a lot of people that just come over from overseas sometimes they'll play. Like I saw Spessy. I mean, there's a whole group of them that come, which is great. My son always like gets excited because he's watched a lot of you guys or is aware from early days content, because that's how we learned, was just watching people stream and play and pause and like zoom in to try to figure out like, okay, how do you ink? How do you mulligan? And to your point, like everybody's so nice and you get some really cool prizing, even doing side events. My kid like saved up enough. We have several Rapunzel promos, and we got a Cindy mat just from him doing side events and like just jamming games. But so you don't have to be a competitive player to really enjoy the DLCs. They also have really artists that come and sign cards, and it's a really cool vibe just to kind of come and check out and watch. I live in Nebraska, and we have 2 golden Mickeys in Nebraska right now, so that was fun to watch just because it's Nebraska, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many people live here? But yeah, to your
More
point,
than some states. So yeah, Nebraska's kind of killing it right now.
yeah, we have a good per capita golden Mickey. I feel like we should make a map. But yeah, it's fun. So check it out. Like, even if you're just kind of getting into the game and you live nearby one, I'm really hopeful that they're going to have a lot more DLCs this next season once it kicks off. So it'll be a lot easier to get in. But totally check it out. But you mentioned, and talking about set champs, how do you feel about the changes that they made this like so far that they just announced?
Good and bad. I think it was a really cool idea that they gave everybody like a participation promo. Now, it would have been, I mean, maybe it's just being a little greedy or picky, but like if it was a non-foil, like full art, that would be cool. It is the alternate art, but I don't believe it's like an actual full art. People love full art cards. I know that, people have been really expressing that they would like more like alternate arts or like full arts in Disney that were, like more available. Like the Lilo is a good example in the new gift set.
Mhm.
Like that's a cool full art, alternate art that people can play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And so like that was a good change. I don't believe people were a fan of, they gave everybody an entry promo, but now they got rid of the second place playmat.
Yeah.
So now you'll need to win one to receive the playmat, and then that playmat also says champion. So like sometimes people even prefer just the blank arts. They just want like the full art playmat with no wording or anything. People will try to win one. They'll also try, if they win a second one, they might even tell the person like they're willing to, get the other version of the playmat. I was a fan of having the 2 playmats still.
I am as well. I hope they bring it back. I feel like they've been really good about taking feedback from the community though, and going with it. I love the 2 playmats. I didn't mind like when they went top 8 for the full art cards, because that was nice if you live in a place where there's like a larger pool of people playing.
No, I definitely think because the first, was it the first 1 or 2? I think it was the first 2, maybe the first 2 set champs were top 4 only. So that was a good change, making it top 8. I definitely agreed with that. There's a lot of different things they could do, to also like hype up set champs more. They could even do something like, well, now that everyone's getting the participation promo, I guess this is a little different. But before that, it was like the top 8 could have gotten a non-foil version, and then top 4 still got a foil version. You could maybe have the top 4 be like stamped, like winner, finalist, third and fourth or whatever. Like that's another cool thing that they could do.
Yeah.
And another great thing that I think this would be like pretty interesting is that, let's say, for instance, if you won the set champs, that you actually receive like a buy at a DLC, like a round 1 buy at a DLC. That would be pretty cool, and that would get a lot more people to come out, I think, to set champs if they're offering like a buy for a winner, for instance.
Yeah, that would be nice. And just to be able to get in DLC is a lot easier. I am like, granted, if you've only been to Disney once, I have like really good, not lightning lane, but like when you have to get in the queue, the virtual queues for rides, I get that 7 a.m. Like I got the fast fingers, and it is so hard to get into DLC sometimes.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I attended all the ones I wanted to. A couple I was on the wait list for, but I ended up getting off the wait list. But yeah, it was a lot harder for some people. They weren't able, like, you could have maybe forgot about it. Like it slipped your mind that the tickets went on sale at 12 or something like that, and you remembered at 12:15, like the tickets were already sold out by then. The tickets would sell out in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, Vegas I couldn't get, and I tried for that like right on the dot. Seattle I got, and that was hard because I had 2 phones for me and my kid. Like it's harder when you're trying to go as a family. I wish they would figure out. I totally get why they don't want people buying 2 tickets at a time, but like luckily it's just one of my kids that still plays consistently because I had 2, which is very expensive in cards, let me tell you. But that was hard. But so yeah, I'm hoping that they'll have more availability. Just they've always been packed.
Yeah, I hope they increase the capacity. I hope they find a better way to distribute the tickets. Maybe like I wasn't a fan of Eventbrite, but I don't really know how to fix that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not my job, so I'm not going to put too much time into figuring out how to fix it. But it would be nice to figure out like a lottery. I think would be okay, but then that also might become an issue for people. You know, like oh, they just never get the lottery or something. But yeah, I don't really know the best way to fix it. I just think for one, maybe changing it from Eventbrite, like a more functional site that doesn't get overloaded by, you know, thousands of people trying to buy a ticket at the same time. But
yeah, I wonder. I mean, so Ravensburger did the D23 cards to your, you know, like the where you could raffle, like you went ahead and prepaid, and then they did it. I wish they could tie it to like Melee or I guess their new Play account, you know, where it's attached to Melee. Because again, as a mom that wants to get a ticket for me and my kid, it's a little bit harder, which I would take preference if we got one. But yeah, oh, maybe they'll figure it. Like, I hope so. You mentioned the format in Germany, so I know that I've seen that you're on Amethyst Steel, and I am a member of your Metafy from the Ruby Amethyst days. So I was excited to kind of see that maybe making a comeback. So let's maybe talk cards. And what are your thoughts now? I know you mentioned with the format 2 game versus the best of 3. Do you are you changing your strategy? You don't have to spill your secret sauce on this. Thoughts between the current decks in the meta, so the ones that have the best, most consistent strategies in those formats right now.
Yeah. So I'm honestly haven't even made up my mind on what I will be playing in Germany. I would obviously I think I'm mostly known for Ruby Amethyst in the earlier days. Up until I would say at the end of the last set, I started just exploring more decks. I played Ruby Amethyst. I went to Australia, the Australian DLC. I played Ruby Amethyst in the main event, but I didn't make day 2. So in the big side event, and the next day, I played Diggy Hole. I that was a competitive event where a larger event where I didn't play Ruby Amethyst. And towards the end of that set, I did start exploring more Amethyst Steel, like the Rabbit build and also the dock version. And then when this past set, the newest set came out, I think if you do follow the metagame and stuff, Ruby Amethyst, the Ruby Amethyst stocks were low. There was, the format was 80% Sapphire. So yeah, I played Blue Steel. I tried Amethyst Steel still. But as far as Ruby Amethyst goes, it performed well in the tournament this past weekend. There were some smaller tournaments. There was also a larger tournament, I think also in Germany, but not a Ravensburger tournament that they had. And it performed well. I think there was 3 in the top 8 for this large 2-day event. As far as best of 2 or best of 3 goes, I think that's always a concern for Ruby Amethyst is how well can you perform in best of 2, because it is a great best of 3 deck. Just because you can always adjust and adapt your game plan to better perform in 3 games, or maybe your opponent high rolls in 1 game and then you just have a chance to kind of recover in a 3rd game like that. But yeah, I've been exploring Ruby Amethyst, Amethyst Steel, and I think my picks after that would potentially be Emerald Amethyst as well. I think I'm just a big Amethyst player in general, so I think I like the Amethyst bounce package a lot, or just the Amethyst color in general, just as far as the color identity, what those cards are capable of doing. So anything paired with Amethyst, really, I don't mind. But as far as what I'm considering for Germany, I'm still on the fence about. After this podcast, I'll be testing some more to really figure out what I want to take over there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been as a newer player, I've approached it as I've tried to play a new color pairing or two
Mhm.
every set just to kind of learn because I have no idea, and I can play against it. I was a big M Steel player before Bucky really blew up and then literally got blown up. I was very sad about that squirrel, and I feel like then they kill a rat. It's like this rodent control situation that
Yeah.
Ravensburger has, but. I got on blue steel this set because sapphire was the last color that I really hadn't played a lot with. And I think that's really great for any player to play with all of the pairings enough just to get more comfortable because I definitely feel like that's made me a better player for
Mhm.
sure. And then like talking about testing. So what's your testing strategy? I mean, I know that you're on a team. So what's it like versus being on a team versus solo testing? And are you using online clients like Pixelborn? Do you prefer cardboard testing or like what does that look like for you?
I don't really like webcam games. I will test on Lorcanito. I don't know if I can say that here, but that's what people mostly seem to test on. Um, my testing, it really depends on like how much time I have. My time might be busy with like other things or life or whatever, but I think Lore Canino is probably the best way to test. As far as testing individually or on a team, like I do test on my own at points. Like being on a team doesn't mean you're always testing with people on the team, but like the benefits of being on a team are you can like express your ideas and get like feedback from your team members, even if you're not like testing games with them. Like I can maybe build a list, do go kind of well, like do well online with it, or maybe I've tested the last few weeks across multiple like local events and then like run it by my teammates to see like what their thoughts are, are there any glaring holes in the deck list or could it be improved like that. Um so yeah, that's mostly like just how my testing would go. And then what you asked about as far as like team versus solo testing. Yeah, I think there are benefits to being on a team. There doesn't have to be. Teams can have like different meanings, like teams. When I first started playing Magic competitively, I was on like a team. It wasn't really like a competitive team. It was like more like just a group of friends. We all had matching polo shirts. And but it was like a good group of guys, and like and we traveled to competitive events together and stuff. Like we weren't like, you know, hardcore testing with each other and everything like that, but it did like it exposed me to competitive events, and it was just a good way to get into the game and then learn a lot because these people had been doing it long before me, and so like they taught me a lot that way. So if you find a good group of people like that, and y'all could all have there could be various levels of experience. um it's not like a team isn't always like, oh, sponsored players and stuff like that. Like it can't just be like just a good group of people that like enjoy each other's companies and they want to travel to events together and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's benefits because you don't always have the time. So again, like someone on your team could be like testing something, and again like running ideas back and forth with each other. They can kind of like share information. Um, and then you know you also doing it solo is fine as well. Like Zach Bivens is a good example. He wasn't on any team. He was a solo player.
Hi.
um um but yeah, Zach Bivens was a good example. Is like he wasn't on any team. He performed well by himself. He has his own like testing method solo.
Mhm.
But he actually even recently joined a team. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams out there. I mean, so I'm on the Ink Knights, and we are a competitive team, but we're also more of a community. So
Mhm.
I know like there's a lot of teams out there like Gleamineers. I think every like Ink Thieves. I think most all teams have Discord servers that you can join at no cost, and a lot of them you kind of find like the different vibe going on. I mean, I'm constantly over it. Like, I'll go and jump in and watch Manny test, or I'll jump in Maelstrom and see if someone's testing just to watch. But a lot of them, like, we have a lot of people that just jump in our Discord server that are newer that will share a deck list and ask for help. And to your point, I mean, you don't have to join a team, but there's also a lot of teams that are constantly, like, they're more community based. They're just like, hey, come be part of this. So if you're looking for a community, I mean, there's a lot of places you can do that if you don't have something local too, which is really nice. So kind of a few questions for like newer players or people that are, you know, wanting to level up their game for set champs. What do you think is the best strategy for someone that's newer or trying to be more competitive, as far as, you know, maybe deck list or just strategies within that you've seen kind of coming out this set?
Well, it did get, you know, with the recent bannings, it got shook up a lot. There's a great graphic that was like that I saw that was floating out there where it showed like the before and after of the bannings. And like I said, if you put the two blue steel decks on top of each other, that was well over 60%. And then like Ruby Sapphire was there as well. Now there's like more of an even slope of like decks that you could actually play. So really, like, I think you mentioned this earlier, but I do think it's a great idea if you're just starting out. Play as many color pairings as you can to really kind of like see maybe like what is your play style or what you identify as, because you know a lot of times there's not like a de facto like best deck, like you only need to play this, or you know you're just not going to win games or whatever. Like that's what that was what Blue Steel just was, right? Like it was like, yeah, there, you could play Ruby Amethyst. You know, you do get to like ink cards and play things to the board, but this one deck is just doing things that are way more powerful than any other thing. So yeah, now it's more open. I would say play any colors that you can to really see like what kind of play style resonates with you. Um, I highly suggest, like, there's these two guys at my locals that just got into playing the game as well. They haven't played really card games a lot. And so what I recommended with them at first was that um, budget wise and even play style wise, again, going back to Amethyst, I think if you play Amethyst, anything else, I think that again the like Amethyst bounce package, for one, it takes up, it's affordable like budget wise.
Mm.
Two, it like takes up, you know, 45 of the 60 cards in your deck, and then you pair 15 of the other color in the deck, and whatever color you pair kind of changes how the deck plays, right? Like even though all the Amethyst decks are like almost 45 of the same cards, the other 15 cards really change the play style of the deck. But and that bounce package also is great for just like teaching like Lorcana fundamentals. I think it teaches like, you know, it teaches slash rewards like really good sequencing, and then you know how to like, it has card advantage, it has you know, after you don't need cards anymore, you've generated card advantage, you can switch to being like a more aggro, you know, like it has reach, like extra lore gain, like with Goat, for instance, or White Rose. So I try to point newer players in the direction of Amethyst, and then like pick some color to pair with it.
No, I like, yeah, and I like
Some are more budget friendly than the other. I think. I think Ruby Amethyst, because it is playable again now, is probably the most budget friendly. It used to probably be Emerald Amethyst, but um, Emerald Amethyst list right now looks like they're leaning towards like the Diablo strategy. And
pricey.
if you didn't, yeah, if you didn't have, I think Diablo was almost down to about $20 or so before the bans, but I think he went up to 40 or 50 post banning. So Emerald's probably a little pricey now. I think Amethyst Steel, I've enjoyed Amethyst Steel a lot. And again, it's affordable, but Calhoun's and Strengths, I think, are the expensive cards in there.
Yeah, and if you're not a newer player and have them, It's not so
Mhm.
bad. Yeah, I like Amethyst Steel. I think it's a relatively easier one to do. You can do the things. You can damage things and you can get cards. I struggled coming off Amethyst, not having card draw, but then I switched to Blue Steel, and then you have like 15 cards in your inkwell and like this flush of hand cards in your hand. So now I'm coming off the I have no cards. I went to Ruby Steel for a little bit to try to make
Mm.
that work, and you can't get cards. You have a dock. You're praying for a dock or maybe like a tragic beast to like that he lives for more than one turn.
Yeah,
It's
Ruby Steel got a lot of support this set, and one of the locals I goes to, there is a decent amount of players. There's probably like 4 players that play Ruby Steel at that locals. I think it's close. It's almost there. It just does like kind of like a significant source of card advantage. You have Beast, but some might perceive the meta like a little heavier steel right now. If that's ever the case, Beast is a little less valuable because if they just shoot damage on him, then he can't draw cards. Doc is a great source of card advantage, but you I haven't played Ruby Steel enough to know if it's a good Doc deck. For instance, like are you able to like empty your hand fast enough for Doc to be
I've
really
been
good?
I've been able to. It's
Mhm.
the problem with it is, I mean, so I've been running a version that doesn't have like it's dock and then it's beast. That's the only card draw I have. It runs lower. It's a damage deck, so you're trying to like hit Super Goose and you're trying to hit Mushu, like where you're just pinging that with Calhoun, but it runs out of steam really fast. And the evasives, to your point, with Ruby Amethyst and with Emerald Amethyst are just harder to deal with. So you can't really win if you can't bonk into things.
Yeah, Ruby Steel is reliant on challenging your opponent's characters, and I don't think it has a lot of anti-evasive in its like deck. So
You have
the
to
format right now seems to be a little heavier on evasives, yeah. And so if you can't challenge evasives, then yeah, your deck kind of doesn't get to do its thing. But I think Mushu is like a great addition for that color pair.
and
Um,
everyone's been wanting Mushu for so long.
yeah, I think it was really criminal for how loud the community has been for Mushu, and then he wasn't an enchanted this set.
I know. I know. I was
I think it
so
would have
glad.
been a great
He's such a
enchanted
cool
as
card
well.
too.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have been a
he's
great
cool.
enchanted.
Well, I mean, so kind of walking through, since we're really close to set champs, if you're a newer player trying to get more competitive or you're just jumping into the game, really great resources. Again, follow Kendall. There's a bunch of links I'll kind of put into the channel and the show notes for this, including some Facebook groups that are really great to join. You also have players like Kendall that do Metafy report, like Metafy, and there are some of these are paywall, so they already get in there. I don't know if you have any opinion on that, Kendall, for new players that are really trying to learn a deck really well, if you think that's a valuable resource.
Yeah, that's like a big controversy thing on Twitter as well. I've tried to be like fair in my pricing and stuff, and I think that people have gotten great value out of like the guide that I would write for each set. I did not write a Ruby Amethyst guide for this set, and I think with 1 month to go, it would be helpful for set champs, I believe, but I didn't spend enough time on the deck to justify warrant writing a guide, and also just wasn't playable for half of the set anyways, or not competitive enough for me to want to write a guide and have people invest in that. But um, I think that they're a great way to save you're saving yourself time, I guess, a lot, because like a lot of the players, they put time like testing, refining the strategies, building the deck list, and then giving you the information you need and like all the matchups and how to play it. I think that can be a great resource. Like, um, for instance, the last few weeks I've also been going to a One Piece locals. Like this is how like I'm ready to play in challenges again because just like doing anything. I'm going and playing Penguin card games in One Piece, just
Yeah.
ready to play Lorcana again. Um, if I wanted to get caught up to speed really fast in One Piece, I would go to like Metafy and look, one of the top like One Piece players, and I would like buy one of their guides is like maybe the first thing I would do. I wouldn't say you necessarily need to get like coaching and stuff immediately, but like if they have a comprehensive guide, that can get you caught up and save you a lot of time. I have not bought a guide for One Piece yet. If I decide to like play the game more or not, I would. But I can, if you know, if I wanted to save a bunch of time, I would go and do that.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to say I've loved your guide. I think I bought it a few sets ago. So I picked up Ruby Amethyst with a week to go in set champs. Jumped in and I won first place, like just jumping in using the guide. So I mean, for sure.
I'll say I don't guarantee results.
Yeah, no guarantee, but it's super helpful. Like it gives you step by step, like each match, kind of what you need to do. So
yeah, it does feel good too, because like during set champ season, it feels like this one's taken a lot long. Was there like a bigger gap or something? It almost felt like
I think
in the last one and this one, but yeah, I would constantly get tagged during set champ season, like, oh, I won a set champs today. Kendall's guide helped me a lot, you know, and like that feels good as well.
I mean, so I agree with you. Like, go check it out. If you're in several groups, you can always ask, like, hey, is it worth getting this guide? Because a lot of people have them. I've heard really great things about several creators. And I personally think it's worth spending the money if you're really trying to invest in something. I mean, and the amount of time that you're putting into it, like that has value as well. And I feel like a lot of you guys, including yourself, like are constantly posting things like on Twitter or in some of the Facebook groups or Discords where it's totally free knowledge. I mean,
yeah, it's not even just like paywall for Medify. Like my Twitter DMs are open. Like I answer questions on Twitter all the time. You know, it's not like if you send me a question on Twitter, I'm going to say, well, go sign up for my Medify and ask me there.
Are you in my Medify and have you paid for coaching?
Yeah, no. I answer questions. I make posts. Like I shared deck list even on my Twitter. Like, hey, I went 4-0 at locals tonight with this list, and I went undefeated the last night at locals with it, you know? So like, and these were my matchups. So really, even if it's not Medify, like I know Twitter is another controversial website, but that's where like the most information is. And like, you know, go follow all your favorite pros and stuff. Like the only reason why I use Twitter is for the Lorcana community and like news and stuff like Lorcana news.
Twitter/X was dead for me because there was like nothing good, and then now it's Lorcana.
Yeah, so if you just saturate your algorithm with a bunch of Lorcana content, then it's not bad, and it's pretty helpful. Like you can keep up with all your favorite players. You know, they'll share tournament reports and stuff on there. But yeah.
Yeah, and I'll share a link to Kendall's Medify in the show notes as well as in the social posts. So you can check them out. Whether or not you're into one of these deck archetypes right now, or if you're thinking about it, I'll say it personally was super helpful to me because I was able to read your writing style was how I thought. So I was like, okay, although I did have to Google a few things just to be, but the new card player. So like, the nice thing is that if you don't know a term, you can Google it or you can jump in a chat with somebody and anyone will answer. So like, I didn't know what a cantrip was. That was something where I was like,
yeah, that's not a Lorcana term. And so,
what is this? And so, I like messaged a friend. I was like, I feel really silly, but what is this? Because I hadn't heard that. And then once you learn it, it's really easy, but 99% of things can be Googled. So it's totally fine. That wasn't on you. That was on me of like, what's a cantrip?
No.
I started hearing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of little on me. I try to make it as simple as possible. Like I was in the military. And so it's like, we always say like, break it down Barney style, right? Like you want to make it as simple as possible so people can understand it well. But yeah, that's just like the old card player game or old TCG player in me that like I'll probably use terms sometimes that like I've used that term, you know, for forever now. Like I said, over 15 years, I'll just say cantrip and expect people to know what it is, but that makes perfect sense that sometimes people might not know what those terms are.
Yeah, and I mean, again, so that's just a card. A cantrip's just a card that replaces itself. I felt so smart because then now I use it, and so you're like, oh, I'm perpetuating the problem. I say like, oh, he wheeled me, which I would like forever. My best friend and I were like, wheeled. Like what? Like just thinking this is the funny thing, not realizing it was a magic term. Like okay, wheel, like whole new world. Like, is it because it goes like trying to figure it out? But
Yeah.
yeah, if anyone ever feels dumb, don't, because there's no dumb questions, but I feel like that's the fun thing is that if you ever don't know, someone will tell you, or Google will, because that's what I do on this. But yeah, no, thanks for all the content that you post. I'm excited. I am hopeful that Ruby Amethyst will make a comeback. We will have our
Well, I
day.
think it will. Yeah, I think it will. It's doing good right now.
I have control issues in real life, so being able to have like a control deck that also gets me a lot of cards was really satisfying.
Mhm.
So it's kind of been tough, but I'm with you. There's so much to look forward to, including you becoming a Disney adult. That's my bucket list. I will see you as a Disney adult. You're gonna be like getting Mickey popcorn buckets. Next time I see you, that's gonna all be behind you is 50 popcorn buckets and all the trips. But sweet. No, well, any lasting words, any words of wisdom for
Um,
for this podcast, kind of setting up right before set champs?
no, I would say, I guess the one thing is like if you are a newer player, like don't be like scared to go to like set champs. I think set champs are it's a good step up from just going to locals. Gives you a little bit more competitive play. They're fun. Like now, even just for going, you get a card. Like you get a promo card that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else just for showing up. So this should really incentivize you to go and play. And then it's also a great way to get experience into like a competitive environment and get better that way. Like, because I'm really big on the only way to get better is just to play the game. And if you are a little nervous or scared to do that, like that's perfectly fine. Like that's a okay feeling to have, but it it'll become easier the more you do it. And so highly suggest like going to such champs to get
Yeah.
exposed to that.
And if you're a newer player, or I mean, and by all means, I think the community is great. You're always going to run into like one or two people that just need a hug, but probably you shouldn't give them one because they're grumpy. But I feel like most players, if you say, hey, I'm super new, like, please let me know if I'm doing something, or especially if you go to league before that, like we had new players, like we'll play open handed with them and kind of walk through different turns. But I feel like sometimes that championships can get obviously a little competitive, but most people will help you. And if you're missing something, they'll ask if you tell them, like, hey, I'm super new. I'm sorry if there's something I'm doing wrong, please let me know. And usually people will give you the benefit of the doubt and kind of help you if you're missing something through that. So I agree with you. I mean, I get nervous, and I've been playing for a year and a half or however long that we've been out for this. And I don't know, it's super fun. And we're adults that get to like, my favorite thing, like, oh, no one can survive 3 daisies. Like the fact that we're talking about like be prepared and Mushu, and this is like a hobby, and like, oh, like dreams do come true for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's been fun, and I look forward to the new season whenever that may be, and everything else. Like, hopefully, I think they'll get all their ducks in a row for like the new season, and we won't have all these concerns like we do now. And then, yeah, I think it'll be great. It's great to be a part of the game, like as its first like in its like infancy, I guess, and then like see where it goes from there. Because I think the game is really great and the community is great, and so and the fact that it's Disney, it's just like, well, it's just probably just like too big to fail almost. And it's been fun so far. So
Yeah, and again, thank you for me, and then all of the newer player communities, because it's been so great to have competitive players that are doing well, on the national and global stage, to be able to that are willing to take time and like pause and answer questions in their DMs, or jump on podcasts and kind of talk through the best strategy or like what might help. Because I think the more players we get in the game, and I'm a huge advocate for getting a kids league. I would love to start seeing that. Pokemon did it. I feel like Disney can.
I feel like I've heard rumors of that being thrown around, so we'll see. But yeah, that would definitely be great too to have a like a kids division.
Yeah, this is way better than Fortnite. Like I would rather although I mean it's a little bit pricier than them buying whatever skins and bundles on occasion, unless you're just playing budget decks. It actually, I guess, technically is more affordable. But my kids were off today for Good Friday, and my oldest son, every time he'd walk in my office, Mom, can we play a quick game of Lorcana? And
Well,
I mean,
it's good because it's like teaches them like math and like critical thinking and even how to be like social. Like, if they go to these tournaments, and a kids league would be great, but that's not to like downplay the kids at all, because there's some kids that are like really great at the game already too that will outplay you. So.
Yeah, my favorite was we were in Chicago and we just got attendee badges last minute, and we live in Nebraska, so it was like a 7-hour drive. It's not crazy. And my kid walks up and the guy was like, "Oh, this should be an easy win," And Harrison's like, to your point, social skills. Like, and again, there's always that guy. Harrison beat him 2-0. And it was so good. He was just like, but it is, you learn social skills, to your point. The strategic thinking of, like, he's learned way more than me because his mind's like more malleable than mine. I'm set in my ways. I'm almost 40, but he'll point when I'm like really in a game that I feel really comfortable with, like all my turns and everything. And he'll go like, why wouldn't you do this, this, and this? Where I'm literally about to concede. I don't see it. And he can see the win on the board. It's way better than Fortnite. And it's just fun. I feel like who needs crosswords when you have Lorcana?
Right.
We're getting there. But yeah. No, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kendall. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I'll put a bunch of links in the show notes, but hopefully this isn't the last time we'll see you, and we will all be rooting you on in Germany. I'm excited. Are you going to wear Disney merch? Do we have a nice that we're going?
Well, I don't. Well, I have like a team pullover that I would probably be wearing, but I always, I've been pretty known at this point that I have like Disney Crocs. Like I wear Crocs a lot, and like I always show up in Disney Crocs.
Now, are these like gibbets on the Crocs, or is this like full blown, like you're wearing Buzz Lightyear edition?
They're not in my room, otherwise I would show you, but they are the like Mickey and Minnie edition, like Disney Crocs. And then they came with it. They're not like, I didn't go buy the gibbets, but they do have like, one has a Mickey gibbet and the other has a Minnie Mouse gibbet on the other one.
This is so now we need Lorcana gibbets. They have book gibbet. That should be our next petition, is bring in the Lorcana gibbets.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Well, awesome. Well, maybe we'll have to send you like some Mickey something to like spruce up your get up. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again, and thank you for joining us. And please check out the show notes and make sure to follow Kendall on, I believe you're on X/Twitter, and follow Momentify. And then also, if you're in Discord, check out a lot of the Discord channels, including 20 Lore Pro, which is really great as far as having really great content and deck lists that you're looking for, as well as my community, Eat Nights Gaming, and follow Beyond the Podcast. But thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time.